So how's Attack on Titan?
My God, it's actually really good.
I've heard that it's really good.
So when last I left off, I was sort of in a phase of, ooh, this has some problematic messaging.
And I did know that. Larvesta.
So
I'll do my best.
one of the reasons why I want to talk about it and why I think I can talk about it without really spoiling is I think more than any like long-running anime manga, like really like even a short anime manga tends to run longer than most comics that we follow.
Much to the like detriment of mangaka's health.
Yeah. Now that I have almost the complete picture, the anime is caught up to like I think there's only about 7 chapters of the manga it needs to adapt.
Got it. And the manga's done?
The manga's done. But now that I have almost the complete picture here, it's probably the most deliberate manga I've ever seen with its messaging and its characters. I didn't really think this at first, but every character has a purpose. Even the like, sometimes don't get me wrong, sometimes the purpose
even
is
that
for them
guy
to be introduced and then getting, smeared across a building. But the deaths aren't senseless from a narrative standpoint. And that's not to say back when it first started airing and coming out, people were comparing it to Game of Thrones until they realized that the main cast is, quote, safe. Game of Thrones was like so radical because main characters would die left and right for no purpose, and that's why I think Game of Thrones sucked. The status quo never changed because the people fighting to change the status quo would die for meaningless reasons, and they wouldn't have complete arcs.
I never got into Game of Thrones. I will respect it for trying that. I think it was I think like whether it was good or bad, I think the introduction of that concept of like, yeah, no one's safe, it challenged fiction as a whole.
That's fair.
But no, I never got into Game of Thrones. I had other shit to do.
In Attack on Titan, every death has a purpose. And like to that end, sure, like some of the main cast aren't going to die unless it's for a really important purpose. And I really like that.
I like that.
And its themes, I'd say its main theme has always, I can say now, looking back from the beginning, it has always been, there is a cycle of violence, that cycle must end. And it uses a lot of different tools to give that message. And sometimes it goes into, it goes into darker and darker thought spaces, coming back to that same message. And to that end, if you leave off, or if you were following monthly at the time and it just and then fell off right at the fascist Nazi bit, I definitely understand people going oh, this is becoming really gross and bad, but there is an answer to those bits. There's a reason why those were introduced. And I kind of dig it for that. It starts with its trademark violent intensity, and then starts throwing curve punches at you, and it's always at the same level of intensity. I don't think it ever really violates the author audience contract, but it changes how it attacks your stances. I really appreciate that. One of the rough things near the now that we're getting to the final big arc was I was worried that it maintains a sense of you don't know if the good guys are going to win, and it's not just because are the good guys dying. It is because some of the good guys stop being good guys.
Yep, got it. And
again, that's part of the theming. If you approach it with less critical reading, or again halfway through, I can see like, oh, this main character is now again being a fascist. I guess the story is supporting fascism now, and that's actually not the case. I definitely like, and to a certain extent, I understand the misconception there. And there are some, don't get me wrong, there are some tropes that I think it doesn't handle great. I do see how those tropes, like, were used, and how they were meant to be used, but some of them don't quite hit right. Those I can't really talk about too much without spoiling, but, yeah, I am pleasantly surprised at how much it has held up.
I was close.
Close to what?
Which Pokemon I drew.
Which one was it?
I was honestly thinking about Volcarona, which I also didn't actually draw.
Mm-hmm. Was it?
It was the challenge was Larvesta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Which
he's
is the
a
larva
little...
version of that.
Yeah, but that's he's a sunlight maggot actually.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right.
But I had him like just cooking, boiling some tea over the side of the volcano. That's how I roll.
So yeah, I binged that heavily, and I am pleasantly surprised at how good it ended up.
I think I clearly haven't watched any Attack on Titan since last we talked about Attack on Titan, but I'm like somewhere in the middle of season 1, and I should get back to that.
I do recommend it. Yeah, I wish I had a solution to your only wanting to watch anime with people problem.
No, I've got.
Don't get me wrong, I like watching anime with you, but I can't watch literally every good series.
No, that would be a long-term thing. But I mean, like right now, just JoJo.
Mm-hmm.
Let's watch more JoJo.
We do need to
just come over to my house and say, Jer, shut up, JoJo. And I'll be like, okay. And I'll put on sunglasses and then take them off because I can't watch a movie with sunglasses on. But for that moment, I will be extra cool.